We are back now with more on the breaking news we're following in the south suburbs. Reports of several people shot in Alsip.
Let's get right to Kris Habermehl in Chopper 2. Chris?
Well, Joe and Jim, we're piecing this together here from the air and on the ground, and what you're looking at is South Francisco here, just north of 127th, right outside the Salvation Army's Blue Island Worship and Community Center. It seems as though the activity from what we're seeing here in Chopper 2 is centered more on the outside of the building, the parking lot. Haven't seen any officers going into the actual building itself. So around the kind of cluster where those cars are parked there, just outside the building here, literally at Francisco and Minnesota. Now that's where EMS was summoned. That was their staging area. Marion Park. Three people shot. No word on the status of the shooter. People on
Francisco and Minnesota are on the back of the Salvation Army for another victim, Alpha.
Having some technical problems there, but a shooting at the Salvation or outside a Salvation Army Center. That's 127th and Francisco in Alsip, south suburban Alsip.
I don't know if we can try to get Chris's microphone back at least, or if he's breaking up still. But Kris, you cut out right when you were talking. Involved.
Yeah, Jim and Joe, we're making circles up here in the kind of hot weather with the helicopter there in order to kind of keep air flowing through the motor. So that being the case, we'll try and slow our orbit down here just a little bit to try and firm up that signal a bit. Police and EMS still on scene. It's going to be a long-term investigation when you're talking about multiple individuals who may have been shot and wounded here. I was saying last time that we have been talking to a couple of folks that were on the ground, one at a nearby daycare. Everybody's okay there, but the woman there said that she heard as many as 10 gunshots and saw somebody running past her facility there. Don't know if that was the shooter or somebody who was outside and heard the same thing and just took off running to get to safety. Also down the street, a car dealership was sheltering in place when they said that they had rounds coming through, not necessarily actually hitting anything at the car dealership. So it looks as though the scene is secure, not seeing any more police officers coming in here, not seeing an expansion of any of the closures around here. Throughout the afternoon, 127th and Francisco is going to be the hub of activity, and they're going to keep this whole area closed because there's a lot of evidence. We've seen a lot of evidence markers down in the parking lot here outside of the Salvation Army building here at 2900 on 127th Street. So we will continue to orbit overhead, get eyes on the activity down there, and let you know if we get any further information. But right now we're hearing that as many as 3 people were shot. How many, what their status is right now, what their current condition, where they were taken. We're working on that. We're working on our sources from the ground and here in the air in Chopper 2, and of course bring the latest to you. Jim and Joe, back to you.
Okay, Kris, one other quick thing. You just answered one of them as far as the number of people apparently shot at 3. You did break up the last time we heard from you about what the status is of the gunman. Have we heard any more on that? And I guess finally, have the ambulances that were there all left? In other words, has anyone injured on the scene been taken to the hospital? Well, so much for that. We've lost the signal again. I know, as Kris, it was nice of him to point out some of the challenges they're facing in the hot weather and the way they're circling there and orbiting. He's back now, it appears. Kris, can you answer any of those?
Yeah, Joe, I heard your question there, and here's the latest. We don't see any more EMS units here. It appears that everybody has been transported from the scene. Don't have any word on if one of those individuals that was injured was in fact the individual that created this chaos down here, the gunman, a shooter of any sort. So don't know if anybody has been located, identified, what the motive may be, or if any of those individuals of the 3 that we're hearing about was in fact the gunman. So we're working on that angle as well, Joe.
All right, Kris, thank you very much.
And earlier we said also that has since been changed to Blue Island. That was in Blue Island at 127th and Francisco outside of a Salvation Army Center there.
We'll keep you posted as we learn more.